competition, 3 stages at the Gravity Forge to benefit NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. My name is Mary Layton, I am the commentator ninja, and I am joined by my phenomenal protege, Sara Tamayo. You may have heard her on some Ultimate Obstacles live streams, and she is quite phenomenal, and I am excited that she gets to join me here today. Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing great, how are you?
You know, I can't complain. How have you thought about, you've been at the merch table for the last couple of hours. We do have the live stream going back there, but what do you think of this competition so far?
I honestly think the course is made absolutely phenomenally. We have a lot of really talented ninjas here today, and being able to see them push themselves and honestly take some very risky moves is very entertaining for me.
Now, what's your favorite obstacle?
My favorite obstacle right now would have to be, would have to be the 7-10 split.
The 7-10 split. You have bowling pins to a DGS bullseye, to, I think that's a Makercraft bullseye, excuse me, got to make sure we get the branding right, to the DGS slider, into this really fun preset trapeze bar lache. Now, a lot of athletes have actually been getting kind of tripped up on this trapeze bar because of the fact that it has a sort of tri-connector with those things. They're getting just a little bit off in their swing and not able to get to that dismount. So it's been really interesting to see some of them confident enough to throw the big moves, but then some of them having to take a little bit of time to correct it. Now, how this competition works, there are 3 stages. Stage 1 is going to be today. Athletes get as many points as they can in the time limit. Men's time limit is 3:15 actually, for a really tough 11 obstacle course. The females have the exact same course, but they do have 4 minutes to complete the course. Males are allowed 3 fails before they stop amassing points, and females are allowed 4 fails. How everything works, the top 75% of athletes from today will progress to stage 2, and on stage 2, their scores on stage 2 will be combined with stage 1 to determine the top 30% to move on to stage 3. So you really want to do as well as possible in stage 1, not just to guarantee yourself a spot in stage 2 and get a good spot in the run order, but also those combined points are going to determine whether or not you move on. So, as of right now, I believe Josiah Papel is in first place, and he got the most amount of points, 9. We haven't seen a full clear yet. Sara, who do you think could clear this course out of our athletes today?
I'm going to be honest, out of all of our athletes, I definitely put my money on Matt Bradley. He's a very skilled ninja, and I think honestly he has both the brain and the brawn to get through this course.
I've taught her well. It's always Matt Bradley. It is always Matt Bradley. Truly my protege. Yes, actually, you know, I would also put my money on Matt Bradley as somebody that I would put my money on to complete the course. The final obstacle, which no one has gotten, is actually named after him. It's called Down for Brad Grabs. Any sort of weird bar tech, the man has in spades. So definitely looking forward to seeing him get to that point. Another person I think could do it, James Sinella. He has some phenomenal flying bar moves. And we're going to get started. So here we go. So excited. All right, Sara, why don't you give us some info on our first athlete here?
All right, so Michael Bellion is about 21 years old, and he's been doing ninja for about 2.5 years. His 3 biggest ninja accomplishments were 2nd place at NNL Worlds in 2021 in the adult division. So far, he's going really smooth right now. His goal for today's competition is to clear 1 obstacle and get Jackson to say the word pencil. So far, he's cleared the first obstacle, so he's all good with that. Let's see how he does with Jackson.
All right, now we're moving on to the balance obstacles. We just saw some really quick movement from Mike in the first 4 obstacles. He line drived through that obstacle. Oh, and taking a risk, deciding not to bend down to take the 2nd PVC out on Magic Trick. He's going for time here, but I don't necessarily know if I like that approach, because we have seen in the last wave, if you do not clear both balance obstacles, it really does set you back as far as points and the ability to get them.
Thank you so much.
Now, Michael Bellion has been competing for quite a few years, joined the Elite Division last year, and has really just been increasing in his ability and just figuring out how to train for these competitions. So I've definitely seen some improvements in him over this past season. And so far we're looking okay. A little risky on the balance obstacles today. Looks like he's going for the Bosu. Now, Sara, what do you think about this dismount right here?
That dismount? Well, it's definitely very off-center. I personally would have a lot of trouble doing it. The grab to the bowl seems easy enough. The bowl is a very easy hold to grab, but I think putting yourself all the way towards that purple against the wall while also trying to redirect your swing definitely is difficult.
Absolutely. Good assessment there, Sada. And Michael is now quickly through the stroller coaster. Stroller coaster is my personal favorite. And now we're going to get a look at Michael Bellion on the skyhooks. Now, what's the name of the skyhook obstacle, Sada?
The name of the skyhook obstacle is Down for Brad Grabs.
Nope.
It's Touch the Sky by Kanye West.
Gotta touch the sky.
Love that name.
And here goes Michael, getting the turnaround here. Easy work. You get the clear on the skyhooks. Once you get that third skyhook in, they have to bring the bar up. Oh! The control on the bar was actually really solid. That bar stayed completely even, just didn't have quite enough height. Excellent work out of Michael Bellion here today. All right, who is our next athlete today, Sada?
Next up, we have David Fuderin.
This is A&W 2028 or bust. Now, David Fuderin has been competing on the scene for quite a few years. Wait a second, 1 month?
A month?
Is this who I think it is? Ninjas, I'm sorry if I got this wrong. Yeah, he probably isn't doing it for 1 month if he's top 3 in the NNL.
I think we're getting tricked here.
Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna have to go back and do some extra research through the Instagram and make sure that this David is the David that I am thinking of. So I apologize to the viewers back home if I have made a mistake here. We'll just take a look at how David does out here on the course, and maybe I'll be able to figure that out. Some of his biggest ninja accomplishments are winning A&W, which if he's only been doing ninja for a month, not really sure how that one works out.
I really think he's speed running this whole ninja thing.
Absolutely. A little bit of a ninja hustler, huh? All right, well, David is looking very fluid through the first couple of obstacles. The execution is not necessarily something that you would see out of someone who's only been doing ninja for a month. I'm pretty sure this is the David I'm thinking of. Beautiful hip tech. You would not see that out of a new ninja. Slider tech is something, I've mentioned this in earlier ways, that does not come easily to first new ninjas. So that was a really great execution out of him. Deciding to take on Frustration Alley. I've dubbed these two blocks together the ice cream sandwiches. And so far we've only seen 2 athletes clear these obstacles. Sada, what do you think is the best technique on those ice cream sandwiches right there?
The best technique on those ice cream sandwiches? One thing that one of my coaches tended to teach me was always choosing to keep my belly button in the front or in the middle of that obstacle. Focusing really hard on that. Definitely try not to rush through that because that can leave a lot of room for mistakes.
Absolutely. Another really great assessment. And you did see David clear it. So that's 3 that have made it through the ice cream sandwiches. An excellent build out of him right now. Now, one thing I'm seeing a lot of athletes do that is the mistake they're making here is they build up the swing and then they forget to build on the backswing. But David has gotten it, probably our smallest athlete, to get through that obstacle. That is a huge move.
So far, he hasn't had any falls.
Excellent work through the special delivery as well. Could David Fuderin, who's only been doing ninja for 1 month and won A&W, be the one to get our first full stage 1 clear?
Ooh. You know what? I think he might be. One thing he would really like the world to know is that he is a winner.
He's a winner. That is fantastic. All right, now this is a big move for David. He's going to want to make sure he gets that ring off the tape.
Making sure to go back to fix up whatever he just did. Get that ring moving on him.
Oh, beautiful technique right there. Excellent. All right. The man has a full clear as of this point. 9 obstacles completed.
So far, he has 40 seconds left to complete the rest of the course.
That's plenty of time, but does he have the technique? sky hooks, I don't have any worries for him, but does he have the energy and the tech for that tricky down for grabs move? All right, we have the clear, and now time for this final obstacle. I'm holding my breath.
He's sitting at 10 seconds.
Oh,
Not quite.
woo! Awesome work out of David today. Unfortunately, not getting the full clear, but 10 obstacles, 309. Excellent job out of David.
That was an amazing
Fuderin today. Who is our next athlete, Sada?
All right, next up we have Blake Mason. Thank you, Jackson.
What did he say?
He said Blake Mason before
Blake
I said
Mason. Letting us know. You are? How? Thank you so much. I'm happy to know that it works. All right, guys. So Blake just said he is using some technique on the special delivery commentator ninja tech. Should just be all ninja tech. I want all ninjas to use it. Now, if you're not sure what we're talking about, you can reference back to the introduction of Wave 1, or you can check out episode 2 of the Commentator Ninja channel. That's on YouTube. Also, speaking of the Commentator Ninja, we are one of the sponsors here today at the competition. This competition is to benefit suicide prevention, proceeds going to NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And here goes Blake. Sada, give us some fun facts about Blake here.
All right, a few fun facts about Blake. He has been doing ninja for about 1.5 years. Surprisingly, a lot less time than most of the ninjas competing today. He's 15 years old, and he really likes to rock climb. He also goes to boarding school.
Oh, fantastic. So those are definitely some fun facts. Now, ninja for only 1.5 years. That was actually a comment that we made in the earlier wave. Lots of the ninjas competing today here, 5 years of experience, 7 years of experience. In Paul Wood's case, 9 years of experience. Now, with that experience comes competition experience, learning how to respond to off-kilter events. Speaking of off-kilter events, this type of situation where your swing is a little bit wonky, sometimes you get freaked out, sometimes you don't know how to correct it, but it looks like he's doing a good job so far and gets the clear.
He chooses to go through the frustration lane.
Onto the ice cream sandwiches. Oh, and when those ice cream sandwiches fall over to the ground like that, you unfortunately have not cleared the obstacle and cannot continue. But moving on to the semi-straight line. Oh, and what a hit.
It was a rough fall, but he got back up and he's ready to keep going.
Moving on to the 988 Stronghold Ninja obstacle. This hold was created by Stronghold Ninja, who's also one of our competition sponsors here today. 988, of course, about to be a number you can call, similar to 911. If you are in a mental health crisis, you can tap that number into your phone and you can receive support. I don't know if that number is live as of yet. I believe the target was pretty soon for that to be released. We'll try to find out for sure when that number is going live and give you guys a little bit of a heads up tomorrow in our stream. Oh, Sada, I looked away for a brief second. What happened there on that throw?
All right, so he threw really well. He seemed to get his hands on there quite well. Seemed like he slipped off at the last second.
Ooh, and slipping again on the last bit of a special delivery. Unfortunately, we don't get to see him utilize the Commentator Ninja's special delivery tech. However, it wasn't because he couldn't grab the special delivery. I think that was just his chest got a little bit in front of him and his feet slipped out behind him. So that's an unfortunate end to the run. Was really excited to see that. Hopefully we'll see him in some future competitions demonstrate that technique. Oh, great execution through the stroller coaster. Just need to get to that dismount box. Ooh, and I think he's good.
So far, even with his falls, he's still putting in a very valiant effort to get through the rest of the course with the best scores that he can.
Yes, and now he did clear the stroller coaster, but I think he did have 3 fails at that point, and unfortunately wasn't able to gain any more points, but great job.
Didn't get to the special program.
I know, I was so bummed. Okay, Next up, we have Max Feinberg. We will take a brief moment here to talk about Max. Turn around so the camera can see your shirt. The other way. There you go. So on the back of Max's shirt, you do see the breast cancer awareness ribbon. Max's mom is a breast cancer survivor, and he has been wearing this shirt for quite a few years on all of his competitions. Sato, tell us about some of Max's accomplishments.
So some of Max's biggest accomplishments was a 2-time A&W competitor.
He is, and I believe he is also appearing on season 14 of this year, which I don't think he wrote down, but I know it, so he's going to be there.
Next up, we have Max Feinberg.
All right, fantastic work out of Max Feinberg. All right, his goal for today's competition is to impress Frank Pipel. That is Josiah's dad. We'll see how he's doing. We'll have to check in at the end of the comp. Something that he would like the world to know is that you should buy Stronghold X's. These Stronghold X's, inspired by the A&W obstacle. I don't know if it's called X Alley or something like that, but a very difficult final obstacle in stage 2 that took out many competitors. And unfortunately, Max is out on the ice cream sandwiches. Something that we want to highlight here is that Max wrote in his 2 things you can do to show support to someone who you know is struggling with mental health is that you can reach out to him. You can reach out to Jack. Volunteering Jack, although I have seen Jack is always open and willing to talk to people if they need support, and Max is as well. So really fantastic to see our ninja athletes, not only with a beautiful build and tons of height in that throw, but also being good humans and being there for people who might be struggling. So far, great run with Max. Only fail is on that balance obstacle back there.
This agility is crazy.
It's a pretty long agility line. At first, I thought they were crazy for putting it up, but then I realized just how stable these boxes were. And it's not quite as intimidating. We'll have to try it later, Sada. What do you think?
I definitely agree with that. We should.
Ooh, oh, wow. And that was a very good move right there to continue through. His chest was not perfectly where it should be, but good recovery from Max getting through that dismount.
A little wobble there, but he makes it.
Now we have 1 full minute left on the clock, plenty of time. This move to the salmon ladder bar is a pretty solid power move. And after going through this whole course, now Max did it efficiently. He shouldn't be too taxed at this point. Has endurance 4 days. Had a really phenomenal performance at the NSC competition. Has the endurance. We've seen it before. Taking an interesting approach, trying to coffin this move. Oh.
I don't like coffins.
And it is an interesting approach to coffin that flying bar, or that move. It could work, maybe. My hesitation with the coffin move, so for those of you that don't know, a coffin move, you go backwards into a lache. So you basically, your hands are going behind you, or your hands are on the bar, your feet are out in front of you, you swing your legs back, and then you launch backwards off of the bar. So the position advantage I see in going for that move from that position is that you can see the bar. The huge disadvantage that I see is that it's going to pull you away from the actual salmon ladder. So you almost would have to coffin and then immediately swing your hips back behind you and then pop it up. So I don't necessarily know if that is the best approach. We'll see if anybody else tries it today.
Yeah, don't coffin.
All right, next up we have Zach Burkrusy.
Burkholder. That's what
Zach
that looks like to
Burkholder.
me.
All right, Zach is 15 years old and he's been doing ninja for about 3.5 years. A fun fact about him is that he has 2 screws in his right leg.
Oh, wow. 2 screws in his right leg. I wonder what
we
happened
good?
there.
All right, next up we have Zach.
His goal for today's competition is to make it to stage 2, and so far he's looking smooth, he's looking good. I might be a little early to tell, but I think it's a possibility.
We'll really be able to kind of make predictions about getting from stage 2 to stage 3 once the athletes get to balance obstacles. It is based on how many points you've amassed. Oh, beautiful hip placement. Almost could have gone for the dismount there. Hopefully, oh, okay, that's a clear. You only have to get 1 foot on that box and then continue your momentum forward. And Zach knew that. Had some great situational awareness. This is where we can start making predictions about whether or not we'll see the athletes get to stage 2. If you can successfully complete these 2 balance obstacles, and Zach, is looking really, really comfortable, you can feel pretty confident that you're positioning yourself well to make it to stage 2. So let's see if we get the clear here. Excellent. Very comfortable on those obstacles, although it looks like his coach is Matt Bradley. So agility and balance, things that Matt's pretty good at teaching.
Funnily enough, something he really wants the world to know is that he knows Matt Bradley.
That is definitely a fun fact. So, 1 balance obstacle failed. If we can clear this obstacle, the next point we're going to want to look at, great build right now. Tons of height. Ooh,
That was a very
beautiful.
nice grab.
If we can get through this up and down obstacle right after the army, excellent. Another thing that Matt Bradley is pretty solid at and definitely teaching students, special delivery grabs. So far the hard part has been cleared on this obstacle. Next up we just need to get through that dismount. And I don't like to see too much swing here. Oh, unfortunately not getting the clear. So I would say that Zach is in a bit of a precarious position as far as moving on to stage 2. We'll have to take a quick look at some of the leaderboard. And Sada, I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm actually going to go check that leaderboard. Why don't you walk the viewers through the rest of this run?
All right, sounds good. Hello, viewers. It is just Sada right now, the protege. So far, Zach got through the stroller coaster really well. Now he's on to Touch the Sky by Kanye West. Doesn't take much of a break. Just grab some chalk and go. So far, he's doing pretty well. I didn't realize that that 1 cradle for the ring actually turns around. That's really, really cool, actually.
I just wanted to check the
He
leaderboard.
makes that last transfer. Now he has up to down for the grabs.
Oh!
It seems like he got 1 cradle in, but the other one didn't seem to match that up. A really great run from Zach.
That looked like to be one of the closest attempts we've seen. I just snuck back in. All right, so how many points did Zach end up with? 8 points. I'd say he's going to make it to stage 2. It's really looking like that 75% mark is 6 or 5 obstacles. Probably 6. You're definitely going to want to get more than 6 points in order to move on to stage 2. So that's what we're looking for right now. Currently in first place is David Fuderin. 10 points, only ninja to get 10 points on the obstacle, on the course.
That's amazing. All right, our next runner is William Supa.
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 Supa?
It is
Supa. Oh,
I was right.
Sada was correct.
Thank you.
My bad.
All right. He is 14 years old, and he's been doing ninja for about 6 years.
Likes to play, it looks like, volleyball. So some pretty solid hand-eye coordination. We'll see how that plays out when we get to the special deliveries. One thing that I would like to note, it's the Steel City Ninja jersey. One thing I always say about Steel City Ninja is that they are extremely fast. I believe Scott is the head coach over there. They were just over at the Vitality Obstacle Fitness 3-stage competition, and the efficiency is pretty solid.
All right, next up we have William.
All right, he's starting off pretty smooth. One thing I want to point out, what William wrote on his sheet is that his goal for today's competition is to have a good time. I find that really admirable in an athlete.
Absolutely. And I think that these 3-stage competitions, they're a calibration check for going into the more competitive season that happens in the fall. Now, Ninja can be a year-round sport. It's really important to take some time to relax a little bit and not be going nose to the grindstone all the time. Let yourself recharge. And I think that we'll take a minute to talk about the bar check here. That was a really great recovery out of William. Not a lot of people can save a link off of a slider if they don't get it the first time. So really, really good performance. But just going back to that statement, summertime comps are a good time to kind of still keep your ninja juices flowing, but relax and have a little bit of fun. And just make sure that we're not burning out on the competition scene. A little bit of a fall on the ice cream sandwiches. Oh! That was
finish, but a finish all the more.
All right, and William is about to hop up to the 988, the Skyfall obstacle. Now again, the power that he showed and the technique awareness, fixing the bar slider, makes me think this will be no problem for him. Plenty of height, powering on that backswing to make sure he keeps it. So far we've only seen a few athletes link the dismount there. I wonder if we'll see a few more. All right, and it looks like the hand-eye coordination from volleyball is helping out here. Ooh, and a bit of a foot tap, but I think he's okay. I see Matt Strollo looking with a little bit of question in his eyes, but it appears we are going to give him the clear. Oh, and I could have gone there, but lots of athletes going back to the bar here to really line up this swing. I haven't quite figured out where the perfect point is to grab on the bar. Some athletes are grabbing close to the side of the truss and some are grabbing a little bit further. Didn't have quite enough distance to make it to the dismount there.
Work your way across it.
So we have 7 points as of right now on the board for William. If we can get 8, I'd say we're in a pretty solid position to move on to stage 2. Oh no.
He has 5 seconds left.
Can we get, and not enough time to get the last move onto the skyhooks. What an athlete, resetting the ring for us. We like athletes like that. All right, who is up next, Coach Sada? I was going to call you Coach Sada. Commentator Sada.
Commentator Sada. Our next runner is Connor Brown. He is 14 and he's been doing ninja for about 5 years.
Wow. It's a long time to be doing some ninja.
A very unfortunate fact about him is that he forgot to bring his phone, which means he couldn't tune into the live stream.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Outrageous.
Now, it is beneficial to tune into the live stream, especially when you have anybody from the Commentator Ninja family commentating, because we like to give technique tips about the course. So if you're in a second wave of a competition, tune on into the first, because we're going to be giving you some insider information. Watching a competition from the perspective of a commentator or a judge, you really do pick up on some of the finer nuances of a course. So make sure you listen in. Unfortunately, Connor won't be able to do that today. But it looks like he does have someone on his sidelines recording. Obviously, he can also pull from the live stream and screen record. Here we go. Ooh, and it looks like he was halfway in between spinning the pinwheel to the dismount and jumping right away and just kind of got caught up. It's like when you try to say one word, but also try to say another word at the same time. And what comes out is just something that doesn't make sense. All right. Sada, why don't you give us a little bit of info about our sponsors today while we are getting Connor through the course here.
All right, we got a few sponsors today. We got Barn Built. I'm pretty sure Barn Built actually made a hold Yep, a hold that we're going to be using in our Stage 2 competition, which is really, really cool. Next up, we have Action Physical Therapy.
All your physical therapy needs.
All right, some Saxy Art.
Some Saxy Art. We actually looked them up on Instagram earlier today, and they have some really cool pieces. So definitely check them out from the Philly area.
All that
Connor,
stuff is very abstract.
Come on, Connor, fly away, dude.
So Connor just did make it through the first obstacle. It looks like we have 5 points as of right now. I can't see I think we have 5 points. So Connor has had 2 fails as of this moment. He's really going to want to make sure he doesn't have any more because he will stop earning points. Unfortunately, not past that threshold to get into Stage 3. Oh, and that is going to do it for Connor as far as earning points for this competition, but he can still have some fun on the rest of the course. And good, he's getting up and he's finishing out that army obstacle. Looks like those blocks are just a little bit rough for him today. Hopefully, let's get him through the rest of these fun things, especially the stroller coaster, one of the funnest obstacles. Most fun, one of the more fun.
Most fun, more, you know what?
Yep, yep.
Funner.
Yep. And we've got a couple more obstacles left. Looking like Connor is
A little gassed out.
Oh, a little bit gassed out for sure. This is a tough course. It's a lot of power moves. And taking a sip of water. Let's hope we can get him through these skyhook transfers right here on
He's
Touch
sitting
the
at
Sky by
45
Kanye
seconds,
West.
which should be plenty of time. Let's see how he boats with these last 2 obstacles.
There it is. Oh, and not quite enough power in that throw forward, but it looks like that technique is there, just needed a little more energy behind it.
All right, next up we have Emily Gardner.
Emily Gardner says hi, Mary, on her sheet. That's really, really great. Hi,
so
Emily.
sweet.
How are you? All right, guys. I'm going to talk a little bit off script about Emily right here. I just commentated for Emily. Oh, looks like she's not going just yet. Okay, we'll take a minute here, but I'm still going to keep talking about Emily. We had a little bit of NinjaWorks issues here. Okay, I think we're getting started. Oh, we got to change the time limit. So, Emily was at the 3-stage competition for Vitality Obstacle Fitness and had the best run that I had ever seen her have on their Stage 2 course.
Any questions?
Their Stage 2 course, some pretty big technical moves.
Next up, we
Definitely
have Emily.
something that could have given her a lot of confidence, and I know gave her a lot of confidence. So I'm really excited to see her out here on the course today. Trains at the Grit Ninja with Kara, Mac, and the coaches over there, Lucio, Henry, and there's quite a few Grit Ninja locations. Oh, yes. Big aggressive reach right there. Oh, that was an unfortunate slip off of the bowling pins. I actually haven't seen anyone slide off like that, but I understand it. It's a slicker grab. Hopefully she doesn't let that get in her head and continues to move through the course with confidence.
All right, Emily's biggest ninja accomplishments were actually her Vitality Stage 2 run, which you commentated for.
I absolutely did. It was a phenomenal performance, some really big technical moves that she executed flawlessly.
That's amazing. She was also on American Ninja Warrior Jr. and she can do the monkey bars.
She can do the monkey bars. She absolutely can do the monkey bars. And now we are about to see her tackle the skyfall obstacle. She wants to be the only female to clear this obstacle, or one of the females to clear this obstacle. We haven't had a female clear this one yet. This is a big move here. Now, what I'm seeing a lot of our female athletes fail to do is build on their backswing before they release. They're getting the height that they need, but then on their backswing, they're just kind of hanging there, and it drops the momentum. She needs to keep that momentum and use the backswing. There's build on the backswing. I think we've got it. And oh! The closest we've gotten so far. Looks
She got
like we
both
needed
hands over.
both hands over. I think we just needed a little more commitment to that grab. It's a huge move, scary move, but she definitely got further into it than we saw any of the other female athletes. Oh! Unfortunately, not quite the run that I think Emily was hoping for. She does get 4 fails, so she still can amass some points. Or actually, that might have been her 4th fail. But we're going to get her through the rest of this course here today. Yeah, Emily. Ooh, and a hip check on that post, but she gets the clear.
So far, she's been really resilient, even with those falls.
Absolutely, those were some tough hits, especially coming right off of the cannonballs. The mats are nice and cushy underneath the skyfall obstacle, but still falling from that height can take a lot out of you. Lining up this skyhook move, going for that backswing. Oh, and just missed a little bit.
It's all right. Before we move on from Emily, I do want to say I really like the answers that she put down for ways you can show support to someone you know who is struggling with mental health. Number 1 is check in on them often, and number 2 is be there for them and listen to what they need.
Awesome. I really am absolutely loving the responses that we're getting from the athletes here. And one thing that I will say, we have I think most of our athletes are under the age of 20 years old. And just showing a lot of maturity and a lot of care for their peers around them. And really proud that they're all aware that you really just need to reach out and check in on your friends and be there for them. So super cool.
Yep. Right now we have Andy Rogo running.
Andy is 13 years old.
She's been doing ninja for about 3 years. A big accomplishment that she's made was that she's made worlds every season she's competed in NNL.
Yes, and Andy is one of our shorter competitors. Big jump to the bowling pins right over there. So it's unfortunate when you have an athlete that is on the smaller side and unfortunately just didn't quite have the height. They're probably completely capable of the obstacle itself, but just had a hard time getting to it. But that's all right. We're going to see what Andy does on the rest of this course. She's on the ice cream sandwiches right now. Now she is a lighter athlete. Might have a little more luck getting through these. But it looks like the ice cream sandwiches don't have a weight limit.
She's definitely going at a slower pace for these. It seems to be working out quite well for her, though.
Absolutely. This is one of the obstacles where her smaller size absolutely works in her advantage. If you had a taller or heavier competitor on those, it would wobble quite a bit more. You wouldn't be able to take as much time. So she is still, Andy is still getting points. You can get points up until your 4th fail. She does have 3 so far. And the build is looking good. The technique on the build is looking good. I'm hoping that we'll make sure the legs aren't getting too crazy there, as that can sometimes cut off your swing, but it looks like she's working with it. This is awesome. Oh, and decided to just go down to that blue mat, but really had a phenomenal build, phenomenal amounts of power. Nice grab on the special delivery.
All right, so far she's pushing really, really hard, and that's really good. One of the answers she put for how you can support somebody who is struggling with mental health issues is to check up on them. Once again, that is an answer that a lot of people are putting down, but that doesn't make it any less valuable. It is very, very important to check up on people. Even if you feel like they might not need it, it can be appreciated. It can make them feel like they matter and they are cared for in any way, shape, or form.
Big smiles on Andy's face as she finishes up that course. I think she knew that was going to be a tough one for her, but she definitely pushed herself.
All right, next up we have Colton Super.
Colton Super does not appear to be here today because that's not Colton Super at the start line.
It is not.
We may be missing an athlete bio here. I think we're missing an athlete bio. Well, that's okay. We happen to know this athlete who didn't fill out an athlete bio, so we'll be okay. Sada, who is this athlete?
This is Matt Bradley.
Matt Bradley, one of our picks to clear the entire course. Fix the time. Yep, we just need to fix that time limit before we get started.
All right, since we don't have any facts about Matt Bradley today, I will say a fun fact about me. I got to visit the Bradley barn yesterday, which was amazing.
It is really super cool. One thing that we saw at the Brad barn yesterday was the new obstacle that is prototyped, and here at the competition for stage 2, the newest barn built obstacle. It's really super cool. We can't wait to show it to you. Hopefully, if we have a good run here, we'll get to see Matt Bradley on stage 2. All right, so a few facts about Matt Bradley. What have I said that I haven't already said about Matt Bradley? Many, many things. Solid athlete. Got second place at the Vitality Fitness 3-stage competition. Anything that can be efficient on this course run is going to be efficient. I'm curious to see his technique on the ice cream sandwiches. Straight foot, likely trying to balance the weight evenly across those two. Beautiful execution through that. Just a lot of great body awareness and understanding where you are in space to be able to do that. And in semi-straight line, easy work. Agility happens to be one of his strong suits. If anyone's going to link the dismount off of this, it's going to be Matt Bradley. We'll say, what do you think, Sada? 3 swings and he goes, or does he go here?
I think he's going here.
Yep. Oh, jeez.
Oh, he shakes it off. He's okay.
That was a fall and a half.
I think that fall is deserving of style points. He did do a flip in the air.
I don't know if I would call that. I don't know if I would say style points. Yeah, I don't know what I would call that. I will say it was definitely Matt Bradley style.
Yeah.
They sometimes say Chad moves. I don't know if that was a Chad move, but I think that the link after 2 swings was a Chad move.
Ask him when he's done with the course.
All right. So we're just gonna make sure Matt's still breathing. All right, so let's see, how are we doing? So, ooh. I think Matt might be feeling that hit. So right now he's at 7 points. I hope he takes a little rest time. We've got about a minute left on the clock. Again, we did say that we were pretty sure that he could get this move right here, so we're very excited to watch that. As long as he is okay, but I think he's going to end his run, and I think that's a good choice.
Not gonna lie, I felt like a little terrible when I got off the
All right.
Is this one Colton?
Huh?
Is this one Colton?
This is not Colton either.
All right.
Actually, none of them are. Oh yeah, this is Colton. There's Colton.
Okay, cool. I thought, all right.
Okay. So I think that Matt is actually getting a rerun at some point. It appears that there was something that wasn't reset. And I think it was the purple step. So we might actually get to see Matt Bradley run again. Hopefully he's feeling okay. All right. Moving on to Colton Super. Colton was one of my picks actually to take the Vitality Obstacle 3-stage competition at Vitality. He unfortunately had a little bit of a misstep on a pinwheel type obstacle. Thankfully that wasn't an issue for him today. easily getting through the first obstacle and flying through 2 and 3 with the greatest of ease. Carefully approaching frustration lane here. Is it frustration lane or frustration alley?
Let's see. It is Frustration Avenue, actually.
Oh goodness, both of us were wrong. But on the ice cream sandwiches on Frustration Avenue, Colton is showing some excellent awareness. Again, coming from Steel City Ninja, where they understand efficiency. Oh, and that was the move. That was pretty smart. All right, let's hopefully see. You just heard Jackson say, don't pull a Bradley. I 100% agree. Let's not do that. Let's not do that again. Now, what I would like to see Colton do, and I think we will, is build it in as quick as 2 swings, and he's indeed right there as of right now, so we'll see him go. Just got to make sure that we secure it. And I'm wondering if the athlete's not committing to the link is because of that peel-off factor. It's a nice mat there, but as we just saw with Matt Bradley in the last run, pretty tough risk if you do go for it and it doesn't pan out. But good.
So far, he has had no falls. He's doing really, really well. Actually, one of his goals for today's competition is to win. Very straightforward.
Very straightforward. And in fact, we are at a full clear right now. So I do think that is something that Colton is completely capable of. Oh, beautiful loft right there. And took a little bit of extra time. A little bit of extra time hanging in the air there.
That was my dad.
So, time for the skyhook transfers. Don't we'll have any issues with that skyhook move there. Oh, great control over those rings there, or ring. All right, so we're at a full clear at a very quick pace. Definitely faster than David Fuderin's. Here's the move. Oh! Almost. Wow. The bar was in the cradle where it needed to be, but the grip just didn't hang on. But phenomenal run out of Colton Super. Wants to win the competition, is currently in first place, which also bodes well for being in that top 30% and moving on to stage 3. So we are pretty excited about that. We will see him tomorrow.
I don't quite get that swing.
All right. Who's our next athlete?
James Sinella. Oh, okay. That's James Sinella?
Yeah, that's James Sinella.
I did not know.
Oh, sorry. I know who they are. We're learning.
I'm getting there. This is my first trip out from the coop.
This is actually, I will just give a little shout out. This is Sara Tamayo's, is it Tamayo or Tamayo? Tamayo. Sara Tamayo's first comp in the Northeast commentating. She has done quite a few comps for us at Ultimate Obstacles, but across all of the different age divisions. So not always actually on the mic for the elite competitors that we see here today. So gaining some familiarity, doing a phenomenal job, if I may say so myself, which I think I will. Pretty exciting. All right, walk us through this next athlete right here, Sara.
All right, so like I said before, this is James Sinella. He is 16 years old, and he's been doing this comp. He's been doing ninja for about 3.5 years. A fun fact about him was that he didn't know his friend Paul was coming. Very interesting. So far, he's doing really, really, really well. His goal for today's competition is to make Jack proud.
We'll have to check in with Jack at the end of the run and see how proud he is of James. Now, James, I mentioned before, currently, oh dear, it looks like he may have just walked off the balance obstacle right there. So we won't see a full clear from James, but what we will definitely see is fast, efficient movement through the rest of the course and pretty dang close to a full clear. All right, 2 swings for the build here. Will we see the link? And we see the link. Now, one thing that Sinella did just there, and I'd have to go back to see the tape on Bradley's fall, is that he kept his body relatively straight and just allowed the swing to carry him to the dismount box. I think if you're going to do something with that much of a peel-off factor, that's the way to do it. Super smooth so far. What else do we have on that sheet about James Sinella here, Sana?
All right, so a few of his biggest ninja accomplishments was that he hit a buzzer on American Ninja Warrior. That's really sick. All right, he was also the NNL Young Adult World Champion, and something he really wants the world to know is that you should buy Avery's Ducks.
I completely agree. Sada, you bought a lot of ducks from Avery's Ducks.
I bought about 5 different ducks, and I regret nothing about my purchase.
All right, and let's see. It's been a pretty quick pace for James Sinella so far. So let's see if we can.
He has a whopping 1 minute and 19 left on the clock.
All right, now James Sinella is another one of those athletes that I 100% think can get this crazy up for grabs move, or down for grabs move, as they call it. He's taking his time. You need a lot of power to get through this. You don't want to be tired going into it. And it was a great strategy for James to push through the course at the speed. I mean, that's his normal speed, so it probably wasn't all that much strategy. We're going to want to clear the buzzer here because he's going to come in hot when he gets this. I'm calling it now. Shaking out.
I'm excited to see this.
Yep, here we go. Holding our breaths here. Need more height. There it is.
Not quite.
Just, it's such a weird set.
It's so strange.
It's such a weird set. I am hoping that we see Matt Bradley on the course again execute that move.
You'll get a clear check, don't worry.
I'm hoping we see anybody make that move.
Yeah.
Can you say something about my Nana? Like, she's a big fan of
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So our next athlete is Nikki Perella. She just asked us to give a shout out to her Nana, who is probably, hopefully, watching on the live stream. I have seen quite a few posts from Nikki about her Nana. She loves to talk to her about just stuff going on in life, and it's always so sweet to see them together. She has been a strong support in Nikki's life, which is really fantastic. I'm going to help Sada fix her microphone here.
Nikki, you good?
All right.
Ask her.
All right, and Nikki is through the first obstacle. Now, Nikki has been training ninja for, I'm going to say about 5 years, although I'm not sure what's on her sheet right now.
4.5.
4.5 years. I was close. I was pretty close. All right, your mic is fixed, Sada.
Thank you so much.
All right. And one thing that I really am hoping to see out of Nikki today is just full commitment to these big moves. She's insanely strong, definitely capable, good, made that reach right there. And now moving on to a big move here from the bowling pins to the bullseye, definitely something that I think she's capable of. She also trains with Matt Strollo here, I believe, but couldn't quite get the grip on those bowling pins. So we're gonna head over to the balance obstacles. We'll see if she picks Frustration Alley or Avenue. Excuse me, I keep messing that one up. Frustration Avenue or the magic trick. It looks like she's going with Frustration Avenue.
So far, we haven't seen many competitors go through the magic trick.
You know, I think that once they saw a few people successfully get through the ice cream sandwiches portion of Frustration Avenue, it became more doable. You did see a lot of fails in the earlier waves when that orientation of the ice cream sandwiches was actually 3 of those blocks together. Oh, and unfortunately, not quite working out for Nikki, but she is pushing through, doing her best here to make Nana proud.
All right.
Yes, Nikki!
That's amazing.
I'm sorry if I just blasted you all out on the live feed here, but commitment to agility is something I know that Nikki has pushed through, and so seeing her get across that is very exciting for me. Very, very happy.
That's amazing. All right.
All right.
What she wrote down for ways you can support someone who you know is struggling with mental health issues is to listen and be a friend.
And Nikki is fantastic at just reaching out to people and giving them any help that she can possibly offer. Very good at being a friend. And she also has a really great friend in her dog Zoe, who I had the opportunity to meet. Just the sweetest pup ever. All right, and it looks like Nikki might be struggling a little bit to build up this swing here. And I think she knew that was going to be a tough fight for her, but she currently is only at 3 fails right now, so she knows she can still accrue some points. And again, another long agility obstacle commitment, but unfortunately misses the special delivery grab. Still some wins happening for Nikki here today, to be sure. We're getting down to about a minute left. Hopefully we can go and do the stroller coaster. Obstacle created by Matt Stroller, who she says on her little sheet there is the best ninja coach ever. This is a pretty big commit right here. Oh, and she almost could have had the hips were actually set back exactly where they were supposed to be. Maybe needed a little bit more aggression through that movement. But let's get her through the last 2 obstacles here. She is looking tired. But I think she's going to give that her all. Going for it on the backswing. Oh, not quite enough power left in the tank. But still a really, really great run out of Nikki. Definitely some wins today. Definitely some progress.
All right, moving on to our next competitor, we have Sam Kinton. Sam is 14 years old and he's been doing ninja for about 5 years. A fun fact about him is that he's 10 feet tall. Looking right now, I'm
not sure if I see that.
Just a bit.
I'm not sure if I see it. Josiah, how tall are you? 10, 11 feet. Oh, okay. So, you know, maybe he's out. He might be there. He might be there.
I'd say about 8 feet, though.
8 feet? Yeah,
About
probably
8
8 feet.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's
Josiah's
overestimating
10
just a
feet.
bit.
Yeah, he's probably about 8 feet.
Yeah.
100%.
Does that make me like 10 and a half feet?
I think so, actually. Yeah,
That's
sweet.
That
How
feels
tall
real
am
good.
I?
You're definitely a solid 11 feet.
11
at that
feet
point,
tall.
then.
11 feet tall.
All right.
All right.
All right, his 3 biggest ninja accomplishments. Actually 2. He almost did a pull-up once. Almost. But I think that's a lot
if
of
you're
effort.
8.5 feet tall, 1 pull-up, that's a lot of work.
That's some long arms to work with.
So Sam trains at Dexterity Depot. You see his coach, Matt, on the sidelines with him right now. And good movement through that second obstacle. Ooh, did not quite know where to grab on the bullseye. Definitely had the energy to get to that element, but just kind of probably didn't wrap his fingers around the insides. Tricky hold to grab for sure, especially as it's a little curved. So kind of funky town moves here. Now speaking of funky town moves, going against the grain, deciding to go on magic trick. Haven't seen, as Sarah mentioned earlier, not as many competitors going on this. Great commitment out of Sam, getting through magic trick. Excellent bet for him to go on that one. Ooh, and unfortunately not able to make it through WWE SmackDown.
You want a lot of swing.
You want a lot of swing. Don't lay out. Dad, pictures laid out going for it.
All right, and Sam getting some pointers from his coach, Matt, who just had a fun time on this obstacle not that long ago, to make sure he has a lot of swing.
So far, he's getting a really, really great swing going on.
Oh, and he's not building on the backswing. You need to make sure you build on the backswing to keep your momentum going. Oh, and not quite committing to that move, but still a good effort. Always good to get the practice in. Ooh, and just missed on that special delivery right there, but that's all right. Moving right along to the stroller coaster. Oh, could have gone for it. Oh, and he's getting into the classic slider, no man's land. Good. Okay. All right. You hate to see it. The way that he was moving, he was setting his hips perfectly for a link. Just probably needed to bring the ring up the bar a little bit higher in order for that to be successful. Ooh. Did not quite get that. Needed a little bit more distance on that move. But great work out of Sam anyways.
All right. Our next competitor is Maya. She's 13 years old and she's been doing ninja for about 4 years. A fun fact about her is that she has really loose joints.
You know, I think I remember commentating for Maya before, as that is a fun fact that I believe I have actually heard of before. Now, the impact of loose joints on ninja, I want to say sometimes that can be a little bit painful. As you know, your joints do kind of take a pretty tough beating when you're doing this sport. So probably definitely really got to pay a lot of attention to recovery.
A few ninja accomplishments that she's listed here is coming back after 3 months of a bad elbow injury.
Oh, and I wonder if that is right now, today that we're dealing with that. We'll have to take a look at her run and see how things are looking. You might see some hesitancy when somebody is coming back from an injury as they don't really want to injure it again. Things are rebuilding back their strength. But it sounds like she's feeling pretty confident about her comeback. So hopefully we've got an exciting run for us here. Now Maya made it to stage 3 of the 2022 NNL Worlds.
That's
and
awesome.
That was not easy to do, especially with the WNL's 35 and 20% completion rules.
Funnily enough, her goal for today's competition is to at least make it to stage 2.
All right, well, so far so good for Maya. Oh, and great set of the hips. Now, unfortunately, getting a little bit off center here. And in the last wave, you saw Corinne Capriati get in a similar situation here with just getting kind of off kilter due to the positioning of the trapeze bar. There we go. And Maya got her foot on the gray, which is the clear of the dismount.
That's amazing.
So now we're moving on to...
Take your time, Maya.
She did get it. I heard the clear. Yep, she got it.
Take a breath.
All right. Maya is currently about to go onto the ice cream sandwiches in Frustration Avenue. So close.
Yes, Maya. Let's go.
So unfortunately, she didn't get the clear on that, but she, and almost got the clear here on the semi-straight line. All right, now Maya is probably looking to be our only female clear of this obstacle right here, Skyfall. She has a lot of length. Can she be the first to do it? We're gonna need some fearless attitude here. It's a big move.
So far, she's doing really good at getting a good backswing along with her friend, just like you said.
Indeed she is, and she built on her last backswing. I think I would have liked to have seen her build one more front swing, one more big backswing, and then go, but still taking nothing away from the effort that she put in on that.
Very smooth grab from the agility.
And just slipping off right there. But attacking the stroller coaster right up to the top of the wall.
grab from Maya.
Great job, Maya. Wow, and the last bit of that obstacle was, oh, it was by fingertips, but she made it. All right, Maya is pausing to take a breath. She has 30 seconds left on the clock, making sure she's got the energy for this big power move right here. Big moves, let's go, Maya.
You can do it, Maya. Turn around.
And
Let's go.
Here we go. Maya's advice for anyone who's struggling with mental illness. Oh, and she gets the obstacle. And touches the bar.
That was an amazingly impressive run from
It
Maya.
really was. And Maya had some really good advice for anyone who might be, or how you can show support to anyone who might be struggling with mental illness. She says, be a good listener and just be there for the people in your life who are having a hard time. So yet another phenomenal bit of advice and awareness from our young athletes here.
All right, next up, we have Graham Ogden. He's 13 as of 2 days ago, so happy birthday to
Happy
Graham.
birthday, Graham.
All right, he's been doing ninja for about 4 years. And a fun fact about him is that he really enjoys learning about geography.
That is fantastic. Now we're going to do a quick shout out to our sponsors here as we are getting through Graham's run. We've left them in the lurch a little bit. So we've got the Commentator Ninja, that's us, these lovely voices here as sponsors for the event. We also have Barn Built Ninja Holds, Stronghold Ninja Holds, Stomp Off Records. They do jazz recordings, Springside Chestnut Hill Academy, a private school, action physical therapy, some Saxy art, bucket of chalk, and the Elkins Park Family Medicine. Thank you so much to our sponsors for giving us the funds that we need to have this competition here today and to just offer more prize money to bring more athletes to ultimately raise more money for the Lanning Foundation, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Now, back to Graham. He is already on the fourth obstacle in the time it took me to give a sponsor shout out. And, oh, he's still good. That was a good save. You can use your hands on the PVCs. But unfortunately, it just got him a little bit too tripped up right there, and he ended up hitting the gray blocks, which you are not able to do. Can't tell if he's going slow or fast here. Ooh. Really got to commit to one particular technique. Graham actually placed 9th at the NNL Worlds for preteens this year. Those were some tough courses to get through in the fastest time, and time's fast enough to move on to stage 3, so that's a fantastic job out of Graham there. His goal for the competition is to have fun today. That was a pretty fun move. Loft over to the V formations. Oh, and not quite able to grab the special delivery right there.
Maddie's on balance. I kind of like follow her.
And great job getting to the end there of the stroller coaster. Now it is time to move on to the skyhook moves. Great work, an excellent switch around of that skyhook. And we are still live on Touch the Sky by Kanye West. Up now it's time for the down for grab. Down for grab grabs move. Still proving to be a tough obstacle for our competitors here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now down to our final athlete. I'll have to confirm. Okay, so 2 runners left. It does seem like we will see another run out of Matt Bradley because Maddie is our last sheet that we have here. Maddie has been doing ninja for 6 years, more than half of her lifetime. A little less than half of her lifetime. Thank you, Matt.
Don't worry, we're ninjas.
Good job, Jack.
To do math.
Good job. All right. So Maddie, a fun fact about her, she owns a tiny
Are
gym.
we good?
Sibling of Tiny Tim and Kim.
All right, we're off.
Interesting.
That's very interesting.
That's a very interesting fact. I'm not sure if I know what that means.
Maybe it's a stuffed animal?
Perhaps. Maddie's biggest accomplishments is that she has gotten to Worlds 5 times, second place for World's Strongest Ninja. And I'm seeing some of that strength right here, right now in the build.
She's looking like a unit right now.
Ooh, and those, I wonder if those bowling pins have gotten a little bit more slippery as time has gone on, but does not seem to be stopping Maddie. In fact, sprinting all the way over to the balance obstacles, calming down that breathing before she starts on magic trick. Her goal for herself today was to clear the first obstacle, so far she is meeting and exceeding all of her goals. She has a fun fact that she'd like us to know, and it is quite an interesting one. It is that the voices of Mickey and Minnie Mouse got married in real life.
That's so sweet.
That is really sweet, and you know it's, ooh! Okay, and it looks like we were holding the arm there for a second. I think she's okay. Shaking it out. She looks all right. She may have done something to her elbow right there. Okay. We'll see if she takes the slow approach here, which it looks like she's going to be pretty controlled. Oh, save it. Nicely done. The Zante's serving her well on that one. And now we want to see the feet on the side to side. That was actually pretty good execution. The technique maybe wasn't great recovery after a tough fall. The technique maybe, as I was saying on that PVC, wasn't quite as safe, but it worked. And now we're just hoping we can see some more work here on the Skyfall obstacle. Maddie is our last female athlete, so can we see her get through this? The swing is looking good. We need to keep building this. I want one more huge back swing. All right, I think we're there. I see like we're losing a little bit of power.
It seemed like she didn't quite build the backswing on that last one.
Yeah, I think that was more of a running out of energy thing, not so much understanding the technique. She knew she needed to keep that backswing going, but I think just ran out of the power a bit to keep generating that much swing. Ooh, almost on that one. Ooh, and just did not quite have the drop down to the special. Still looking to build up some points here. Asking for her time, trying to figure out how many more obstacles she can do here. Oh, and almost, she went for it. She committed to that.
So far she's sitting at 16 seconds left.
16 seconds. I don't know, Coach Sada, do you think that's enough to finish this obstacle?
You know what? It's enough to put in a very valiant effort.
All right, and let's see what Maddie has for us here. As Maddie is counting down her time, we'll share with you one thing she recommended to show support to someone who's struggling with mental health issues, and that is that you should listen to what they're saying and do your best to try to help them if you are able. And a big move from Maddie. And now it's time for her to make that last move. Her time is out, but we are going to continue to see her make some effort on this course. We're running a little ahead of schedule, so happy to give that to the athletes. Awesome! And she is smiling as the first female to get that skyhook transfer right there. Going to the bar. Ooh. All right. So we are gonna see what's going on here. All pro females to in front of the warped wall. I am curious
Shoulder okay?
to see.
I got it.
Curious to see what is happening. So we will just keep the live stream going in case we're going to keep the live stream going in case anything happens. We never know. You never know what's going on.
I think there's a possible rerun discussion for the real little one that couldn't reach everything.
Ah, okay.
I might be wrong.
I think what we're going to do, you remember, I believe it was Andy who went, very, very small athlete, probably just turned 13. So I think they're going to see if they can make any height adjustments. What we would have to do is if they did make those height adjustments in order to be fair to all the other female athletes, I think they're just going to make sure that that's okay. I don't know if they'd have to give a rerun to all of the female athletes or just say, hey, are you cool if we do this? Which, if they do, it's really good. Really, really good. So, Coach Sada, what did you think of that stage one adventure that we just went on here?
I think it was sick.
You think it was sick?
It was really, really cool to
pretty
see
sick.
everybody pushing themselves. A few of the falls were interesting. They went from big to really, really itty-bitty things that could have been avoided, which could be frustrating for some athletes, but to the people viewing it, it definitely helps them grow as athletes in order to see and micromanage how they're stepping, where they're stepping, what they're grabbing, how they're grabbing, in order to be better for their next competition.
Yeah, it really is interesting to hear you say micromanage, because I think that usually has a pretty negative connotation, at least to anybody who works in a corporate environment, and that's actually where I spend most of my time. And but it really is. You have to be very precise. You have to be very methodical in where you're planning to place your steps, especially on an obstacle like Frustration Avenue. Those, what did I call them? Ice cream sandwiches. You have two blocks that are placed together. Those are difficult to balance on a single one to begin with, but now you put the two of them together, and if one of them goes, the other one goes. And so how do you perfectly distribute your weight just on two of them? Pretty intense, pretty intense. All right, and so let's see. It looks like we are going to get a rerun here. It looks like Andy will be hopping back on the course with some height adjustments. I'm just trying to find her sheet right here. Here we go. Is this the right one?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, here we go. Let's get Andy started off on her rerun. Now, a little bit of an advantage for Andy here today. She has had the opportunity to touch some of the obstacles. And with that advantage just comes a little bit of an increase in confidence in what you're doing out on the course. We just mentioned how you need to sort of micromanage your movements. Now you know which movements are successful and which ones you really need to commit to. I won't say at this point you have muscle memory about what you need to do, but you definitely have an increase in confidence as you are going out to do the course. Looks like we are getting some jump testing going on. While we're doing that, we'll just talk about our sponsors for a little bit. One of our sponsors, happens to be the Commentator Ninja channel. We are very excited to sponsor this event and very excited to have my protege, Sara Tamahio, with me here today. And Barn Built, one of our sponsors. We are going to see a very exciting new obstacle released from them that's going to debut in stage 2. Sara, why don't you tell us a few more of the sponsors that we have here today?
All right, a few of the sponsors that we have is Stronghold Ninja Holds. I believe Stronghold Ninja Holds is the one that made the 988.
Yep, indeed.
Which is pretty sick. We have Stomp Off Records, and then we have Springside Chestnut Hill Academy, which is a private school. Some of my favorite ones is some Saxy art. I love art so much, and definitely their pieces lean more towards abstract. It's very creative.
Yep.
It's very cool. We also have Bucket of Chalk, Action Physical Therapy, and Elkins Park Family Medicine.
Thank you so much to all of our sponsors for sponsoring this event. It allowed us to give more prize money to the athletes that are here, which we love from a ninja competition perspective, but that also in turn brought in more athletes and raised more money for the NAMI Foundation, which is why we're all here today. So thank you guys so much. If you are familiar with those names or even not familiar, look them up, see if there's some way that you can support them, just like they've supported us here today. So thank you very much. I think we're going. I don't know if we're going or not.
All the jump tests have been done, so hopefully.
Yeah. Andy, how you feeling? Oh, man. Andy's shaking her head over there, but it looks like she is ready to go anyway. All right, taking a deep breath, settling in, getting her focus. Getting a little more chalk before she heads out. I think we're just making sure that the course is fully reset and the timer is ready. Now,
personally, I'd be pretty nervous if I had to go for a second run, so it's really admirable that Andy's deciding to give it another go with her adjustments.
Yep, absolutely. I think that, especially now that there was kind of a pause in the competition and everyone's kind of watching and it's, you know, the second run, to your point, you really want to make sure that you do as well the second time as you did before, but hopefully Andy just stays confident in herself. There we go. Oh, and unfortunately it looks like the height adjustment, well, it did help her get to the bowling pin. It unfortunately is a slippery hold, tough to grab onto.
It's brutal. Did she decide to go through the frustration avenue before, or was she on the height?
She did, as we remember. I remember we were talking about her lighter weight and how that might be an advantage, and she got pretty close to it. And again, just that second one, that was what happened on her previous run as well. So not quite able to figure that one out. She did get through this one successfully. Now, usually when an athlete has a rerun, we do award I say this royal we here. The competition usually awards the better of 2 runs. So as of right now, I do believe that Andy has increased her score by about 1 point because I don't believe she got the second obstacle on her first run. So it is already a better run for Andy right now. And we'll see how much time she puts into the Skyfall obstacle here. I think she's going to go for it. So maybe we'll see another female get there. The build is looking really good. Now, last time we saw those feet flopping behind a little bit to her detriment, but it looks like she's controlled it nice here. But she wanted to go for it. Nice job. And gets the special delivery grab. I think she failed on that in her last run. Time to go up to the spinning PVCs. Lots of height, looking good. Oh, just needed a bit more commitment on that grab. Oh, and a nice push from Andy. Time to go on to the sky hooks here.
Come on, Andy.
All right, and I think that Andy is, and she is all set for today, but still a better run than what she had before, so we're very excited that we got to see that. All right. Okay. Jackson. All right. I think we are done for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to stage 1 for the 12 and under division and also the pro division of the Gravity Forge 3-stage competition to benefit NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are really excited that we were able to do some solid work today for suicide prevention. We are going to be back tomorrow. When exactly tomorrow? I could not tell you. I'm going to guess it's between 9:30 and 10 a.m., but we'll be posting on all of our socials to let you know exactly when to tune in for the exciting conclusions of this competition, stage 2, stage 3. Can't wait to see which athletes have made it and which athletes are going to make it on to stage 3. My name is Mary Layton. I'm the commentator ninja.
I'm Sara Tamayo, her protege.
And we will see you guys tomorrow.